Every once in a while, every creator stumbles upon a device that is so handy it gets used over and over, solving all sorts of little problems, and becoming an absolute staple in your toolbox. You know the kind, something simple yet versatile, that just clicks into place for so many projects. This right here is the ESP a tiny but mighty device that's proven to be incredibly multi-purpose. I've already used it for a handful of different builds, and it keeps surprising me with how versatile it is. At its core, it's got an RGB LED for visual feedback, built-in Wi-Fi for connectivity, a piezoelectric speaker for audio alerts, a handy push button for user input, and powering it all is an ESP8266 microcontroller in the compact form of an ESP01 module. It's like packing a whole workshop into something the size of a matchbox. But you're probably wondering, why would I want something like this in my setup? I'm glad you asked. Let me break it down for you. Think of this as the multi-tool in my lightweight microprocessor family. It's got that Swiss Army knife vibe for electronics tinkering. It all started with a super practical need. I wanted a simple status light to let my wife know when I was on a call. Kind of like a do not disturb sign for conference calls or Zoom meetings. You know how it is working from home, and you don't want interruptions during those important discussions. So I figured, why not make a device that could glow red when I'm busy? Maybe even play a subtle tone if needed. It kicked off as a bulkier prototype. I grabbed whatever I had on hand and threw it all into a breadboard to test the water. I used a standard Node MCU ESP8266 board to hack together the initial code, experimenting with different LED patterns, speaker tones, and button triggers. It was messy at first, wires everywhere, but that's the fun of prototyping, right? You iterate, tweak, and see what sticks. After nailing down the features I really wanted, like customizable colors for different statuses or integrating it with my home network for remote control, I decided to shrink it down and give it that polished look. I even 3D printed a sleek case to house everything, making it feel more like a finished product than a Frankenstein experiment. But I didn't stop there. I knew one of the first upgrades I wanted was to turn this into a professional grade setup. So I designed my very first PCB to hold all the components securely together. If you've never dabbled in PCB design, it's a game changer. It turns your jumbled breadboard into something reliable and compact. I dove headfirst into learning KiCad, which is this awesome free software for circuit design. It took some trial and error, watching tutorials and sketching out schematics, but I got the hang of it. I was extra careful routing all my traces, ensuring there was enough clearance for easy soldering and no cross signals that could cause shorts. There were a couple of tricky spots, like the narrow gaps at the soldering pads on the transistors and voltage regulator. Those gave me a bit of a headache during assembly. But hey, live and learn, and I'll widen those in the next version to make it even smoother for anyone replicating this. Once I had the design locked in and feeling solid, I uploaded the files to PCBWay. Totally unsponsored, but they've been reliable for quick project turnaround. In just over a week, the board showed up in my mailbox, looking sharp with that professional finish. Unboxing them was like Christmas morning for the maker. Next up was the soldering adventure. I carefully placed and soldered all of the various components, the LED, speaker, buttons, and that ESP01 module. To dodge any issues with those tight transistor pads, I grabbed my multimeter and ran continuity checks on the 3 pins, making sure there were no accidental shorts bridging things. It took a few careful passes with the iron, maybe a bit of desoldering to clean up, but persistence paid off, and I got it all working without frying anything. With the hardware assembled, I uploaded a quick test sketch to bring it to life, cycling through LED colors, beeping the speaker, and responding to button presses. It was satisfying to see it all click together. Now I'm gearing up for the next steps with this little ESP can, like integrating it with smart home apps or adding more sensor capabilities. To catch what that looks like and how it evolves, please hit that subscribe button and check back soon. I promise it'll be worth it. Did you like this little gadget? It's got so much potential beyond just a status light. Maybe for home automation alerts, IoT experiments, or even as a base for custom notifications. Let me know in the comments, what would you use this for? What kind of everyday problem would you like to solve with something like this? I'd love to hear your ideas and maybe incorporate them into future builds. Until next time, keep creating.